Let's talk about property investing. One of the things that holds people back from property investing is saving up money. All right. They think they need to save up a big deposit. And as I save up a big deposit, I'm going to take that big deposit, and buy a property. All right. And then obviously now with the cost of living crisis and everything that's going on in the world, it's like it is hard to save quick enough. All right. And that process is the problem with just saving money and buying a house. All right. Is your ability to save. How quickly can you save, before you get the next house? All right. So largely that that is dependent on you being on a big income to save. And we realize maybe if you buy a house every 4 years, so in 8 years, you're going to have 2 properties. Okay, some people may take you 5 years, 6 years, 6, 12, 18. 18 years, 3 properties. All right, that's going to take you a very, very long time to get to a place. All right, especially if the properties you're buying might be yielding you maybe £900, 500 some, 300 some. It may take you years to replace your income. All right, at best maybe you can get to a point where they can yield you enough to retire. All right, off them at best. Okay, so what am I saying? Is there a quicker way of doing it? Yes, there's a much quicker way of doing this thing. One of the quickest ways to get into property, I'm not going to say easy, quickest ways or barriers to entry, I should say, is deal sourcing. All right, finding good deals for others to invest in or raising capital. Sometimes, your inability to raise capital is why you can't get into property. We're so busy thinking about the money. All right, you lose the fact that if I can find a good deal, sometimes you see this is a good property, this is a good deal. You can make these sort of numbers. I could do this and do this and do this with this deal. But the problem is you're thinking of how much do I have in the bank? How much can I put together? How much can I do this? And sometimes you are limited. All right, sometimes you have, but you just don't have enough. And that's where you need to learn about raising capital. How can I raise capital? All right. A lot of people, when it comes to raising capital, it can be your friends, it can be your family, it can be family members, it can be someone that you know. You could have 5 or 6 people in one deal. All right. And then split it evenly. Yeah. And I said, you can get yourself involved in $1 million deals. All right. And if you think of $1 million deal, $2 million deal, you're thinking, I don't have enough money to get involved in that. You can't get a mortgage for that. All right. But what you can do, all right, is find people who are maybe time poor, or they just, there are people out there with loads of money. They just don't want the hassle of looking for properties, worrying about GBDs, worrying about ROIs. They don't want to do all that thing. All right. They want somebody to get them the best deals so they can get the best on their capital. And that's where you come in. That's where deal sourcer comes in. You analyze looking for the best deals in the market. You're looking for the best deals in the market, deals that that it's going to bring a lot of money out of this. All right, that this is a good deal. It's in this particular area. This is how much you make. This is how much your ROI will be. If you put this much money in, this is how much the GVD will be. And then you find an investor. I've got this deal. It's going to yield you this. The investor likes the deal, all right, because I'm an investor. It's going to make me money. It's a hands-off deal, all right. I don't need to worry about it. It's hands-off. Your job at that point, all right, is to get the investor on board. The agent obviously gets his cut. The investor gets his cut. And then you take a small sourcing fee. You take a little bit called a sourcing fee and you move on to the next deal. And the good thing about just sourcing deals for investors is that eventually with the small sourcing fees that you get for finding good deals for private investors, you can save up enough capital to get involved in your own deals. So you realize the good thing about property investing is not how much your credit score is, how good your credit score is, how good is no. It's more about the quality of you identifying good deals. All right. And if you can work with good agents as well, that's going to help you to find good deals. All right. So deal sourcing, you focus on the quality of deals and you're taking quality deals to investors, people that already have capital. All right. People that already have capital might not have the time, all right, to find deals and to be calling numbers and to be worrying about ROIs and getting building quotes and all that. That's your job. Sweat equity. Sweat equity. So if you're able to do that, then you find yourself involved in bigger deals. All right. So if you're going to get into property with your income, you're going to be limited. There's certain deals you'll not be able to do, or there's certain deals you don't have the money, you don't have the deposit, or you're not able to get a mortgage. All right. But luckily there are other people that can get mortgages, and there are other people that have money saved up. All right. Or maybe get 3 or 4 people to raise a deposit and get the deal, and then the rest of it you maybe do a loan to value, get some financing on other companies. And the good thing about loan to value, or should I say getting a loan, is they'll loan the deal against the asset. Loan to asset. All right, so this is the deal, this is how much it yields, and the loan company normally they'll loan 75%, and then the rest you can get the deposit for, so you can do financing as well. Financing is different to maybe something to live in, because they're more leaning the loan against the asset. How much is the asset worth? So if you default or things go wrong, God forbid, because you've done your numbers, they take the asset away. All right, loan to value. So it's usually 75%. So property investing, when you understand how to raise capital, which I'm learning, which was my biggest barrier, is how to raise capital. You're thinking, oh, I need to save money. Not realizing, no, I need to build my network. I need to get the right people on board. And you realize the more bigger your network becomes, the more bigger deals you can get involved in. All right. The reason why you're thinking of small deals or thinking small is because your network is small. So the more you grow your network, the more you're able to appear in bigger deals. All right. So when they say think big, it means that grow your network to a point where you can get involved in bigger cash flowing deals, and this is how you can get into property, replace your income, and live a better life. All right. So property is not a get rich quick scheme. You definitely need to put work in, but if you have the right network, the right people, all right, you can get yourself involved in deals that will make you yield better cash flow. All right. So this is how you kind of get started in property. All right. Think deal sourcing, think raising capital, think your mom, your dad, cousins. All right. Think people around you. All right. So always make sure you have quality deals. Build the quality deals first. All right. And then it'd be much easier to find the people. Don't think, let me find the people first, then when I get the people, I'll get the deals. No, the deals will bring the right people. All right. So